I-5 Skyview Network, sponsored by Terry Lambert Hyundai.
Well, after a gorgeous day today, the heat's going to return with a vengeance. The heat index going back to 106 to 110 degrees. Oh, look at how hot Independence Day forecast.
Now, on News Channel 6 at 6, concerns about a destroyed building blocking an Augusta sidewalk.
Why city leaders are at odds over the issue, as your News at 6 starts now.
Live from Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 6.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jenny Montgomery.
I'm Brad Means. Thanks for joining us as coverage you can count on begins with an update on a story we've been following for you since February. An arrest made in Barnwell in connection with a teenager's death. Here's our Aiken Bureau Chief, Sean Cabbage-Stock.
62-year-old Jacqueline Reed is charged with 2 counts of murder. Investigators say forensic evidence found at her home linked her to the crime. Malaysia Hogg was reported missing on Valentine's Day. Her body was discovered February 18th in a ditch near Perry and Main Streets in Barnwell. 62-year-old Jacqueline Reed was arrested July 1st in connection with her death. Tensions were high as Reed appeared in court Tuesday. She refused to speak with the judge, who ultimately denied her bond. Family members expressed their raw emotions as they saw Reed in court.
I just can't believe that she actually did this. Like, I asked her several times, like, have you saw Malaysia? And she looked right at me and was like, no. And knowing the whole time that she already had did this to my baby.
And SLED is continuing to investigate, and there's still a number that you can call to get information in Malaysia Hogg's death. We have that information on WJBF.com. In Barnwell County, I'm Aiken Bureau Chief Sean Cabbage-Stock, WJBF News Channel 6.
An arrest has been made in an Aiken County murder. 28-year-old Jaquez Bibbs was arrested in Richmond County for the death of Jalen Jones. Jones was found shot dead on Greenwich Drive in Aiken back in May. Bibbs is being held in the Richmond County Detention Center.
An investigation underway after a suspicious death in Richmond County. The coroner says a body was found today on Walton Way. It was in the parking lot of a business between 11th and 12th Streets. And it looks like that person had been there for several days. An autopsy is scheduled now to find out who it is. It is time now for a check of our weather.
Here's our chief meteorologist, Tim Miller.
What a day today. Absolutely beautiful with long chances as well. We'll talk all about that in detail with your forecast in just a few minutes. Jenny, Brad.
All right, Tim, thanks. Complaints are growing about the city's response to a building that needs to be demolished on Broad Street. George Escala tells us it's been months, yet a city right-of-way continues to be blocked.
It's a sight neighbors are getting tired of seeing, the burned-out remains of the old Catholic Social Services building.
They're not trying to make any effort by trying to get it cleaned up, tore down, and that just look bad to the neighborhood around here.
The building burned in November, causing it to collapse, spilling bricks onto the city sidewalk, where they have sat for the past 8 months.
Processes are processes, and I know that there's frustration around, how long it's taken to get this building demolished. And trust, I shared that frustration as well.
City engineers point to a loose beam on the front wall and are concerned it could fall, and say that's why the sidewalk has not been cleaned, because the bricks are preventing anyone from coming in contact with the building.
I think it's a joke that we're using that excuse. I mean, yeah, there's one beam that could fall on someone, but you can't tell me that some of those bricks can't be picked up. If it's on a sidewalk right away, I mean, it should have been cleaned up months ago.
Neighbors also don't think the bricks are a safety factor.
I ain't buying that. I mean, them little bricks ain't gonna hold that wall because they only pile up about that high, but it's just like I say, it needs to be torn down.
The court has granted the city an emergency demolition order, but even with a legal go-ahead, the structure is still not gone. In Augusta, George Escala, WJBF, News Channel 6.
With the 4th of July just 2 days away, local healthcare providers and veterans organizations remind you how fireworks can impact those living with PTSD. Bria Smith joins us now in the studio with more with what you need to know.
Jenny, the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs shows that at least 7% of U.S. veterans would have PTSD at some point in their life. Some of those veterans can be your neighbors, and health professionals urge you to be aware. The VA also says that veterans who deploy are more likely to experience PTSD than those who do not. Fireworks and any kind of explosive can trigger someone who has experienced traumatizing situations during their time of service. Medical experts say if you're going to shoot off fireworks, there are things that you should know first.
When we look at post-traumatic stress syndrome, it can be very mild forms such as anxiety, fear, sleeplessness, and it's really caused by those intrusive thoughts, nightmares that people just can't really escape.
Experts say there are things you can do if you suffer from PTSD, like finding a quieter place, using some sort of noise-canceling headphones, or using medications prescribed to you per your doctor's orders. Brad?
Bria Smith tonight. Happening now, Aiken City leaders hearing input on ways to improve traffic along Whiskey Road. The Aiken City Council has been talking about moving the project forward since a conference last year that was called New Horizons. This project is going to connect Whiskey and Powderhouse roads. The first phase will extend Centennial Avenue and expand Oak Grove Road. A live look at that meeting right now. Plenty of time for you to head over there if you'd like to let your voice be heard. It wraps up at 7.
Columbia County Commissioners are going over a few interesting topics at tonight's meeting. One agenda item is a contract to finish paving paths on remaining parts of the Uchi Creek Greenway Trail. Also sparking interest is a rezoning and variance request for 3 acres of land at the intersection of William Few Parkway and Columbia Road. Developers wanted to go from residential to commercial so they can put in a 24-hour gas station across the street from the Columbia County Fairgrounds.
Columbia County, Grovetown, if you will, is growing. I mean, the gas station is not going to be that one factor that all of a sudden we can't get around. It's just we're growing in this area right here. And I think because of that, that gas station would be a plus.
That meeting's going on right now in the Evans Government Center auditorium.
In Richmond County, a new middle school might not be ready for the start of the school year. According to the BOE website, there are construction delays for the new Bel Air Middle School on Potential Way. It's possible it won't be ready by August 6th. If that's the case, students would have to go to another school until their new one's ready. Families, you'll get 2 weeks' notice at least if that happens.
Coming up, concerns for President Joe Biden's health.
Western lawmakers say he should bow out of the race for president.
Let's look into the high temperatures in the heat index over the next few days. Notice that both going up. Friday's heat index at 106 degrees. Your 5 or 6 forecast for the holiday weekend.
Hi, ET.
Georgia Power is reminding you of ways to keep your energy bills down. Experts say keep your temperature at 78 degrees to minimize costs and use ceiling fans to cool the room. Make sure you also close your blinds and curtains to avoid direct sunlight into the house, but open your windows to allow cool air to sift in.
Well, we just recommend that you close your blinds and your curtains because that can kind of help keep your home dry. I personally like natural light, but I can feel a difference when I have my blinds open during the day versus having them closed. Everyone's comfort level is different, but we do recommend that 78 degrees and to not just turn off your system completely while you're gone.
Experts say you should also caulk your windows and doors to prevent air escaping from your house, which could cause your AC to work harder. And Tim, my question to you is, where is this cool air that we're supposed to let sift into?
Yeah, what are they talking about?
Doesn't exist this time of year.
Not this time of year.
2-3 months away.
That's exactly right. Take a look at the almanac. Notice the average 94.71. That's the hottest that we are for the year. We're going to start, the temperatures are going to start to go down. Like August is not our hottest month. Right now is. And it's going to be proof of the forecast.
When bad traffic leads to a bad accident, get
Hi, I'm Mary Morrison with this week's community calendar. Celebrate our nation's independence. Mark your calendars for Boom in the Park. It's Thursday, July 4th at Evanstown Center Park. Gates will open at 5 p.m. Enjoy live music, delicious food and beverage vendors, and a brand new laser show. It wraps up with a spectacular fireworks show. Add your events, log on to WJBF.com, keyword community calendar.
The CSRA is full of amazing women. Women who inspire. Women who innovate. Women who lead. That's why News Channel 6 brings you Women to Watch.
On the last Wednesday of each month, News Channel 6 recognizes local businesswomen who are making a positive impact in our community.
Nominate someone today at WJBF.com. Sponsored by Goodwill.
On this week's episode of Your Hometown Road Trip, we're getting ready for the 4th of July. We're checking out the Augusta Museum of History, and we're training for the WJBF Hot Dog Eating Contest. Your Hometown Road Trip, Wednesdays at 12:30 on News Channel 6.
9 of the worst interchanges in the U.S. are right here in Georgia.
Unfortunately, accidents will happen, and that's why we're here to help you anytime, anywhere you need us.
Call attorney John Foy and Associates today. You can't always choose the way, but you can choose your right around. Go with the most accurate and most trusted Reliant 536 mobile app. Download it today. Now, your most accurate...
Is that Nessa? Nessa Henderson?
Nessa Henderson
Of Augusta, Georgia. Congratulations to you, my dear. You got yourself a Viper 6 umbrella. Register when yours at WJBF.com.
All right, thank you, Tim.
Coming up, there's a lot of noise on the campus of Augusta University.
Construction noise, that is. We'll show you the exciting renovations going on for the Jaguars athletics department.
Mets Plumbing, your personal... Only on News Channel 6. Judge Mathis, weekday afternoons at 3 on News Channel 6. The CSRA's favorite news app is now even better, with easier access to local news, weather, and streaming video. Download the News Channel 6 mobile app. Now, WJBF sports coverage you can count on.
With school out for the summer, it's a great time for construction projects and renovations, and there are several going on at Augusta University in the athletics department on the Forest Hills campus.
We have a lot of projects going on at Christenberry. We're getting ready for next year. Probably the two biggest ones. Number one, exterior renovation to Christenberry Fieldhouse. It's going to make the Forest Hills campus look incredible. It's basically rewrapping the entire building with a bunch of different colors of tile that'll be Augusta colors, and be visible really from Wrightsboro Road. It's going to be quite incredible.
Athletic Director Ryan Erlacher's been working with the administration to get the projects going, including several major ones inside of Christenberry Fieldhouse.
Another big project we're working on right now is our multi-purpose room. The best way I could describe that space is think skybox. It's a really neat space. We don't see a lot of that in our conference, in our region. It's a space where we can have donors and supporters and fans and students, classes, I mean, you name it. We could have events in there and just a lot of different functions in that space. It's taken about 300 or so seats from Christenberry, but we think it's going to be a space that's going to be really impressive and one that's going to be great for recruiting, a lot of interaction and engagement with students in that space, and one that certainly is going to stand out there in the arena.
Adjacent to the space behind the box, they'll add a weight room facility as well.
We're really excited about the new Sports Performance Center. It's actually the Allen Yvette Harris Sports Performance Center. That will be hopefully up and running by January.
They'll also add new lockers for men's and women's basketball, softball, and volleyball.
And it'll give those student athletes a good experience to experience modern lockers and have a place that they take a lot of pride in. They spend a lot of time in their locker room.
After installing lights at the field last season, the Jaguar baseball program will get permanent seating, a new scoreboard, and batting cages.
Yeah, it's everything. And facilities, giving these guys resources to compete at a high level. And what a draw for Augusta University. We're excited about just getting players here, getting student athletes here, and give them the resources to be the best they can be.
It's all part of Erlacher's vision to move the Jags athletic department forward.
And that's our goal, is to provide facilities that our students, our student athletes take a lot of pride in, are proud of, and certainly will help us in the recruiting, but not just recruiting, but once the student athletes get here, we want to provide them with the best possible experience possible, and obviously great facilities has a lot to do with that.
The university and the community also mourning the loss of former coach Lowell Barnhart, who coached softball, men's soccer, and women's basketball at Augusta College and Augusta State. He had 210 career wins with the Lady Jags basketball team and was a 5-time conference coach of the year. He retired in 1999, regarded by those who know him as a fantastic coach and a better man. In Augusta, Brendan Robertson, WJBF News Channel 6.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger.
WJBF 6.2. Over the years, thousands of people have gotten their hands on one. And who knows, you could be next. Win your very own Good Morning Augusta coffee mug at WJBF.com/coffee club. Sponsored by Honda Cars of Aiken.
A little bit more humidity and higher temperatures. A little bit more humidity and higher temperatures. We're on rinse and repeat, you see. I'm saying the same thing over and over again over the next several days.
Well, thank you, Mr. Tim. We appreciate it. We appreciate you all watching. We're back at 7 after World News Tonight.
And we'll see you again for News Channel 6 at 11. Have a